today I come back. I always say I'll come back. Welcome to Work in Progress, a podcast that we speak about creatives, speaking to people that are doing really good work within the creative space, tips on how to enter the industry, but also how to make money. And today we have a favorite. We have a sports star, somebody that can at least know a lot about soccer around here. We have JOVIITA.
Thank you so much.
How are you? I really want to, I don't know if I should speak about the whole thing of, because you guys know, JOVIITA is just not a broadcaster. She's also a lawyer. She's also you have a lot going on. You are so busy. How are you though?
I'm well, thank you.
How's
so much.
life?
Life is okay. It's good. I can't complain.
Okay. How's work?
Work is fine.
Okay.
Still beginning of the year, so
Yeah.
we're still, slowly settling in, but it's not
You
bad.
were busy last year, but I think also last year because of the of the cup.
Yes.
Your guys, JOVIITA is up and busy. How did you get the NBC gig? First of all, let's start there.
That one is long story. Like 10 years ago now, 2014. I was doing media. I think I've told the story so many times, but I'll say it again.
Okay, please, please.
I was doing media at the time. I had many career ideas, but never sport. Just never.
Really?
Something, never. I didn't even know. Okay, I've played a bit of sports, but not really something that I took seriously. I've watched
Soccer?
a bit. Yeah, no, not soccer. I did athletics, I did netball, but
You
not
never
soccer.
played soccer?
Never played.
But you're broadcasting for.
But I am.
Okay. Okay.
So, then that 2014, fate would have it, I did media at UNAM. And I was trying to figure out, what do I do? Do I go into, current affairs? Do I go into entertainment? Sport is also entertainment, but more on the other side, flip side of it. Yeah.
More distinct,
So, and I figured, well, there's not really much happening in sports, and it's like it's so untapped at the moment. And I was watching the 2014 World Cup, and I saw Carol Shabalala from South Africa. And
so your inspiration is Carol?
Yes, she's the first female broadcaster I saw. When I was, I was on holiday. When the 2014 World Cup was on in Brazil, and she looked so amazing by the beach.
Wait, you saw her live?
No. It on TV.
Okay.
Yes, when I was I wish I was on holiday in Brazil.
Okay.
So that's really where it all started. And when I put my mind to something, I executed, and I just want to do the best I can.
Yeah.
And so I started learning everything about football firstly, and then after that I just started knowing everything about every other sport code. But football is my first love. It's what I do on a daily. I can wake up from my sleep now and do it without any preparation, because it has become part of me. So I really, really love football. And that's just where it started. I never did anything. I never played. People will be like, how does she know? But it's something I can actually...
Because you know a lot about football.
I think it's...
What's your favorite team? Namibia, South Africa, and Premier League?
Listen, I can't say that one, but...
you must
the Brave
tell us.
Warriors. Brave Warriors. My heart. Brave Warriors #1.
Not Chula. Not Chula.
No, Brave Warriors only.
Okay.
Brave Warriors is the team I support all over the world. I don't support anything else but the Brave Warriors.
Okay.
But I love to follow players. I love to see players progressing.
Okay.
I love to see what they're doing.
Oh, you are those?
Yes.
Those dedicated ones that actually follow your players instead of the team.
Instead of the team. So I love to see the young talent, what is happening around the world. I love to follow Namibian footballers when they go abroad. Shalulile at Sundowns, Tianoto at Orlando Pirates, Prince, so many.
South Africa, what's your team?
None. I just support where the Brave Warriors players are playing. Premier League also none.
You are lying. You just don't want to be ashamed of yourself and say... Shame the sports team. Shame the Premier League. Who are you supporting? We know.
None. I'm just an
You want to tell me you are a
neutral fan all across.
What? It's these soccer people. They think they are slick because they don't want to stand on their legs on two stands. You guys want to tell us, no, I don't support anything. I'm just a broadcaster now. Okay, let's go back. How did you get into media? Why did you leave school and wanted to media? What was the inspiration?
Listen, when I was in school, I knew there was something I was good at, and that was talking.
Okay.
nothing else inspired me to do.
In 2025 we call it yepping.
Yes.
You are a yepper.
I was a yepper.
Okay.
So in school, I was a troublemaker. I was the one that the teacher says, me also must have something to say. I was literally outspoken.
Okay.
And so when I reached grade 10, we sort of started getting exposed to career fair. And I had many options. I wanted to be a doctor, I wanted to be a politician, I wanted to be a lawyer, I wanted to be a broadcaster. So I wanted to be many things.
Yeah.
And so as I got to grade 12, application to university, I started narrowing it down to what I could possibly be.
That's beautiful, because we have a lot of people that are leaving school now and they don't know what they want to become.
Yeah.
I was doing an outreach the other day for like grade 10s, 11s and 12s. And they really are just confused. They don't know what to study. So the fact that you had a lot and you narrowed it down, wow. At that age?
Yeah, I know, but I still didn't, till this day, I don't really know what I want to be. It's not something that you sort of have just because you narrow things down.
Yeah.
Life is so adventurous. You get to find different dynamics of yourself.
Yeah.
Like right now, I don't have any plans of being a working girl. I want to be a housewife, do you see? So the dimensions change as you grow and as your life changes. But when I was younger, my standpoint was something that I could talk. And I knew I could talk in law. I knew I could talk in media. And then I wanted something that allowed me to interact with other people. And so those were my two options. When I finally narrowed everything down, I applied literally for media and law, and I applied for journalism at NUST and I think English basic something. But I never ended up going to Polytech at the time. I then went to UNAM, but media was not my first choice. Law was. So it just happened that I didn't get into law, but I got into media. And I sat there and I was like, okay, we are here now. I'm a person who's like, it didn't go my way, but I'm here now. And at the end of the year, I didn't get to finish media. Something I should go back to school and finish.
You didn't finish?
I didn't finish.
So you're just getting all these jobs with experience. Crazy.
Yeah, so I never finished. And it's something that I really want to go back and just have the qualification to back up the trade. So I figured, this was my reasoning at the time now, that while my brain is still young and still active, let me go study law now. And then when I'm done with law, then I come back and because it was my first choice at heart, that's what I wanted to be. But now leaning back to media, because I think it has my heart completely. So that's how I got into law. I dropped out of, when I say drop out, guys, I still went to go finish an education qualification. Not drop out and don't finish something. In this
all
time,
these dropouts that I'm speaking to, they say they are gonna go back, but they start making a lot of money and they're like, you know what, I don't need to be educated anymore.
But I still got an academic qualification. So that's what I'm trying to say. Even if I dropped out of media, I went to go pursue a law degree. So I completed a law degree. And
now you're gonna go back.
I practice as a lawyer, but I want to go back and finish my media degree. Not per se maybe the degree, the 4 years one, but something post-grad or anything. But my point is to say that the young people should seek an academic qualification. I know we please. It's not everybody who's lucky, because I say my story is one of grace and favor. Because you can't do what I did. Your journey can never be like me in this day without a qualification. I literally went and I got my first job without a CV. So that's also something you cannot do today. And also without connections and network. I was literally 19, just bold, walking into people's offices as confident. I don't know where I got the confidence from, but I just walked into people's offices and I approached and I said, I want to do sports. And they say, what is the first thing you know? And I made sure I walked in there knowing something. Even if it's not the whole, basis, I knew something.
You knew something.
And it has, me not getting the qualification and it has opened many doors for me just because I spoke out and I really had the knowledge to back out me not having the qualification. So if you don't have the qualification, make sure that you know the trade at least.
I love that you're saying people must be educated, because people have a tendency of, no, I have talent and that's all you. Go to school, guys. Go to school and just brush up on your academic side with the talent and it works out perfectly.
Talent alone is not always enough. It has to be backed up by hard work, discipline, dedication. And if you add the, if you add the academics to it, you will go faster. So
Just
it's
sort of goes
there are so many talented people I know that lack the discipline, that lack the just a foresight for the future. And if you sort of just put them all together, you become so great. Yes, there are a lot around the world who have done it without qualifications, who have become great stars without any of that. But it's not. They had other talents, they had other gifts, and some of them, they were born to do these things. Their whole life they've been exposed to a certain industry, so that's how they possibly get around it. But basically, just try, try to get the academic side of things. And maybe our industry, like Namibia, is quite small, so at least if you don't make it on the TV front, you can be a PRO, you can be something else.
I actually want to speak broadcasting, because you're doing both TV and radio, or you did both TV and radio. You have experience in both, on both ends. What do you think are the most important characters for a broadcaster? That if somebody that wants to be a radio presenter or wants to be a TV presenter, what qualities do you think they must attain to actually be good at it?
That's easy. You need to love to read. Firstly, you need to love to be somebody who
and Namibians don't like reading, hey? Namibians don't like reading.
We read half. So you need to be somebody who likes to take in knowledge. Because if radio is my first love, because that's where I started. That's where it really started for me, on radio. I did radio more than I did television. And just because of time, I would actually love to go back to radio, but the time is not there. But you need to. The thing about radio, it's not as much like TV. TV is a bit scripted. But radio, you have to make a listener believe what you're saying. You are the source of information. With TV, you are looking at the picture, display of a picture. But with radio, you need to paint the picture. So you have to first and foremost want to gain knowledge. You need to love to read. You can't read only the headline. You must know your subject matter. If you're talking about what is happening in the world, let's say now we have hydrogen. You see, I'm not in that space, but I know a bit of what is happening in that space. We have oil and gas discovery. So when you tell a listener, and especially if you're doing like a compact show that is not really dedicated to a certain area, you have to be able to cover everything, and you have to have a knowledge about things you don't even love, So as you talk about entertainment, and you can talk about the latest song, you also should be able to talk about what is happening on the political front. You need to know what is happening in politics. In
terms of sports, I want to know sports alone.
In terms of sports, you need to know knowledge. You have to have. The thing about sports is it's even more difficult, because sports fans already know. You're not telling a sport fan something new. You just need to paint a picture for them, because they already know the result. For example, the Brave Warriors won 3-0. There's nothing different about it. You just need to give them something they didn't know. So you can, for example, say that was the 13th goal of Peter Shalulile, and he becomes the all-time leading scorer for the Brave Warriors. You get, so they already know.
You're telling a story.
Yes, they already know that the Brave Warriors won 3-0 yesterday. But what else can you tell the listener that they didn't know? So that's basically how you get to you have to know, you have your knowledge. You speak of the history. So if we beat South Africa, then you must go back to 96 when we beat South Africa. It was a new dawn for Namibia, and we got them at COSAFA. They went to beat us at AFCON, but you can still tell them that that's what transpired, and this is like how the rivalry is between the two nations. Former colonies, now on the football field, Bafana Brave Warriors. So you have to tell a story, you have to paint a story for the listeners. They have to believe that you know what you're talking about. You get. And then you probably add in some legends there who used to play for the Brave Warriors, who's wearing the new jersey now. Let's say, for example, the number 10 used to be worn by Ricardo Manetti. Now it's being worn by Prince JOVIITA.
So she knows her stuff, guys. So she knows her stuff. Literally, you know your stuff. How is it juggling though? Law and sports.
I think it's not new. I think the work just became more, but it's not new. It's something I've been doing since my varsity days. I was a full-time student at UNAM, but I was also
You're really the most hardworking. One of the most, apart from my friend Riza, your friend Riza, you are one of those people that I don't know. You guys were inspiring each other at UNAM to be just hard workers. Really work hard. I think really, really work hard.
Thank you.
Shout out to you, honestly.
Thank you.
So the juggling, how, especially during like the cups, the COSAFA cups, the Deb Marine cups. I always see you wear like you are between law and also educating and updating people on what's happening on the ground.
I think the thing that makes it easy to do is that football is mostly on the weekends. So I get to cover my week with my legal job, and then over the weekends I tend to now focus more on the sporting front. Unless there's like midweek things, tournaments, traveling, that's where it becomes a bit challenging because now you have to put in a lot of work at the same time. There's deadlines, there's things that you cannot just miss. But it has become a thing of now you don't have to work hard anymore. At the beginning it was a bit more of hard work, but now it's a bit more of working smart, strategizing what is more important. But with sport, if you get into that space, it looks glamorous, but it's not. It's long hours. You are missing a lot of events. You are showing up 2 minutes to friends, families. Literally in the last 10 years, I can't remember really sitting at a friend or family event without saying I'm running late. So you kind of have to
go.
So the circle also becomes really smaller because the commitment that you're trying to do, and it also has to become from understanding people who kind of see what you're trying to do. So it's a lot, the juggling, because I have 2 literally careers, and then I have family, I have friends. So you have to have time to fit all of that in, and it's not easy. And then you also try to fit in a love life. It's not easy. So it's
but at least you know soccer, so you I feel like are you ever single? Because my thing is every man wants a girl that knows a lot about soccer and they can have conversations about football and everything else.
Yeah, but when you do football for a living, you kind of want to switch it off.
Really?
Yes.
Nah, I feel like if you get a passionate man, you can get away with it. You can get away with it.
So true, but it differs. It differs.
Okay.
Yeah.
You traveled, I don't know, I think to Rwanda for
Ivory Coast.
Ivory
AFCON,
Coast
yes.
for AFCON.
Yeah.
Having looked at Africa as a whole in terms of sports and being that side, what did you bring back, or what do you think we could bring back to Namibia and make it, sort of grow our sports industry as a whole?
Listen, when you go to CAF events or FIFA events, then you know that we're on a different level. The organization is top tier. They are structured, they are organized. But the first thing I would love to bring back is infrastructure.
Yeah.
We are
That's a conversation. Yeah.
Miles behind the rest of Africa. Not probably the rest, but most of Africa.
Yeah.
We don't play our international games at home because we don't have stadiums. So stadiums would be the first thing I want to bring back. When I was in Ivory Coast, they had just newly built stadiums, and their smaller towns are like villages. It's something like you're in a Tidiasa and you put a stadium there. So that's how it looked.
And sports bring community, hey?
Do.
People will actually attend the games, and they'll come.
Yeah. So that was the first thing, that they could build state-of-the-art infrastructure even in the rural areas, and fans went. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is probably more investment to put into football, because as much as it looks like players are earning, we are earning, there's still so much that can still go into the sport, so that it can really flourish, because we have so much talent. The talent is undeniable. The talent is there.
You think so? You think so? You think Namibians are, especially football-wise, you think Namibians are talented?
Yeah, extremely. We are a nation that doesn't have a league. At some point, we didn't have a league. We qualified for AFCON without a league. We qualified for CHAN without a league.
Yeah.
We qualified for many things without league. So imagine if we had the proper infrastructure, the proper investment. I'm telling you, we would be miles ahead.
Okay. Why are some of you're gonna tell me Peter already, why are some of your Namibian favorite soccer players?
I have to start with Prince Shuwe. He's a brilliant talent. He's 21. He's playing in South Africa. Young. Extremely talented.
Wow.
He's playing in South Africa for Cape Town City. And
before that, what is the process to getting in from Namibia to South Africa? It's
It's not difficult. You just need to be talented. Firstly, you have to show skill.
Do the South Africans come here to scout?
No, mostly how you are scouted and seen is when you play for the Brave Warriors.
Okay.
So when you play for the national team, that's your sort of your way to getting out of the country.
Yeah.
That's why everybody aspires to play for the national team, because it's sort of like you are at the pinnacle of your career, or you are that brilliant because you are playing for the national team. There's nothing higher than the national team. So that's how you get to go abroad. And Prince has been playing. He's come out the structures under 17, played under 20, under 23, playing now in the Brave Warriors, and talented, seen out there. And so really one of them is the young talent, Prince Rivaldo, another really young talented player.
Yeah, I know Rivaldo.
He plays also in South Africa.
Yeah.
So those are like sort of the future of Namibia. But if you're looking at the OGs, Peter Shalulile at the top there, Dion Motto.
Yeah.
So those are certainly, when you speak of Namibian footballers, you cannot have a conversation without saying their names. But the young talent, I really like to look at that, because that's sort of where the nation is headed to.
Yeah. What do you think about the clubs? Your chulas, your...
No, I mean, the clubs are amazing. They're truly brilliant. And I love the spark that Chula brought to the Premier League.
Yeah.
It has been such a long time since there was a northern team in the Premier League. And so when Chula was promoted, I think two seasons ago, this should be their third season in the league, they brought a spark and an excitement to fans that has been unseen.
I'm telling you, Chula, people were filling up the stadium. It was crazy.
Till now they do. I mean, it's just that the excitement isn't the same, but people still fill up the stadiums to watch Chula. There's now an addition of KK Palace, also a northern team from Ondangwa that has joined. So those dynamics that the clubs have brought. I mean, Comas Nampol has also brought really a great face to it.
I think Ongos something.
FC Ongos.
FC Ongos
Valley are the owners. So those are the teams, just some of the teams that make the Premier League exciting. African stars, back-to-back champions, trying to get to the African dream. So it's a lot. There are a lot of technique. The football is progressing in the right direction, especially on the front that fans are now interested in the football aspect of things, and people really come out and want to watch the team. So that's really exciting to do.
And for a broadcaster, are you enjoying the growth that you are seeing in terms of just because how it's a difference when you are sort of updating and informing people, and people are interested, and when there is nothing to inform people about, and it's sort of just we are where we are at. Are you enjoying that?
I would love to be a bit far more in my career, but so far it's not bad. I'm enjoying it. I love the growth. I love the international exposure. That is really something. It at least keeps me, in love with my job. That I get to experience football in different dynamics on different parts of the world.
You are doing TV now. What's your
soccer pitch?
Soccer pitch. Yes. You're doing soccer pitch. Are you enjoying it?
I am. It's my baby on NBC every Thursday at 7 p.m. on NBC.
Yeah. So are you enjoying that?
I am. Okay. I'm really enjoying it. Covering football across the country. It makes it really exciting.
Is it only football, or what other sports are you interested in?
Listen, I love every other sport code. If I could cover every one of them, I would. But cricket, my second love. Rugby,
apparently they are bringing a cricket stadium or something like that.
They are, and the Cricket World Cup is coming next year, 2027. It will be hosted in Namibia. So
big news.
Yes, so 2027 is going to be a big year for cricket on the African continent. We are going to be hosting. So that's why they are preparing the grounds already now. Things are getting underway just for 2027.
So we are going to see a lot of you
certainly.
Next year. Thank you so much, JOVIITA, for coming through. I think you are doing a brilliant job, especially because imagine you are in court, between the courtroom and the field. Very interesting, two different lives, I think. Extremely. But you are doing really good. You are a hard worker, guys. When I tell you JOVIITA, she's a hard worker. Where can people catch you? Social media?
On Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
like her
JOVIITA
TikTok.
KANDJUMBWA.
Her TikTok is so fun. It's like different
Yes,
from
on TikTok
everything.
as
Yeah,
well,
it's
yeah.
like different from everything. She takes you back home and she speaks Oshoambo and it's just so fun and just so airy. I love it so much. I love it so much.
Yeah, just JOVIITA KANDJUMBWA on all the social media platforms.
Yeah. There was another episode of A Work in Progress. We were speaking sports broadcasting and everything. Media. I wanted to get a lot more about her perspective on what the media landscape is doing in Namibia, but my producer behind is like, no, cut it short. So I'll be right back. Right back. That was JOVIITA.